He's a beloved character actor and comedian who has been part of some of the most iconic movies of the 1990s. I'm talking about Chris Elliott, and he starred in perhaps one of the most iconic movies ever in Groundhog Day. But the truth is that that's just the tip of the iceberg for Chris Elliott, because he's one of the most prolific actors in Hollywood, and we here at The Glorious Beard feel that it's time that a great character actor finally got his due.
Then when I moved out, I kind of lost touch with a lot of that, and then they started popping up on TV. Bob and Ray did a lot.
Right.
When you were growing up, did you sense anything special around your house?
Not until I was about 10 years old, and that's when my dad had a Broadway show in New York. Up until then, I knew that he was in the business, but it didn't seem out of the ordinary to me. I think I just assumed, yeah, some other kids' dads must be also.
Chris Elliott was born on May the 31st of 1960. The son of comedian Bob Elliott, Chris would grow up in New York City where his father's comedy act was based. Chris would grow into quite the funny man in his own right, though, and at only the age of 22, he would be hired as a production assistant for David Letterman's brand new late-night show on NBC.
Chris?
Hey, Dave.
Hi. How are you?
Is this straight?
Yeah. Yeah,
great.
it's straight. What are you doing?
Well, Dave, you're looking at my own little corner of heaven. I'm moving in.
Chris, this is a television studio. You can't possibly stay here.
What? Oh, I get it, a joke.
Yeah.
Following a successful 8-year run on late night, which would see him move up the ranks in David Letterman's writing room and eventually making his mark as an on-air talent, Chris Elliott would join the cast of Saturday Night Live in 1994. It was also that year that his first feature film, Cabin Boy, would debut, to poor reviews, which would see him nominated for a Razzie. But before all of that, in 1993, he would star in a movie supporting Bill Murray that would go on to become legendary in the annals of American cinema. The movie was Groundhog Day, where Chris Elliott played a cameraman for a Pittsburgh weatherman played by Bill Murray. In the movie, most of America would get a taste of Elliott's legendary bizarre mannerisms and humor for the first time. He was awkward, weird, and kind of lovable, making for the perfect foil to Murray's sarcastic, jerky lead. This movie would springboard Chris Elliott's career, leading him to his own television show and very famous recurring roles on shows like King of the Hill and the famed character of Roland Schitt on the critically acclaimed sitcom Schitts Creek, which had an all-star cast.
Roland, listen, thank you very much, but appreciate everything you've done. We need a little private time now, as a family.
Sure. Well, actually, those curtains do close there, so... Oh, look, you've got Channel 19.
Roland, could you get the out?
Now, something to note about Chris Elliott, I don't recall ever seeing him without a beard, and his beard these days is nothing short of remarkable to look at. It's not exactly pretty, but then again, not much about Chris Elliott is. But it is all over the place, kind of like Elliott himself. He clearly seems to do very little to groom it. It sticks out everywhere and is often very unkempt. But one thing that can be said for Elliott's beard is it's the perfect metaphor for the man. His beard is every bit as bizarre to look at as he is to watch do his comedy. And you don't know what it's going to do or what to expect. And that's exactly what you get from Chris Elliott. Every movie, every role, you get something that you just didn't expect.
What the hell has happened to our culture? That's all I can say.
Really? You're that?
What the hell has happened to me? Look at me. What am I? I'm 51 years old. I'm still out here tap dancing for my supper. I can't believe it.
Chris Elliott is a bizarre comedian with an equally bizarre sense of humor. But his movies and roles are absolutely the stuff of legend. And while I wouldn't exactly call his beard glorious, his beard is certainly a perfect fit for both him and his style. Just as out there and bizarre as he is himself. And sometimes that can make a man more glorious than the beard that he sports.